Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're calling the joint meeting with the Cheshire Board of Education Next Generation School Building Committee at Dodd Middle School, 7 p.m. Mrs. Jensky, roll call, please.
Sure. Ms. Cullinan? Here. Mr. Eppy?
Here.
Mr. Grippo?
Here.
Dr. Harrigan?
Here.
Mr. Perugini?
Here.
Ms. Rosenberg?
Here.
Mr. White?
Here.
Call to order the meeting of the Next Generation School Building Committee. Ron, would you do the roll, please?
Sean Kimball. Here. Sarah Stevens-Borland.
Here.
Rick Taylor.
Here.
Jeff Sullivan.
Here.
Greg Rosenblatt.
Here.
Chris Staddy.
Here.
Megan Rockwell.
Here.
Dennis Ryu. Here. Chuck Ness.
Here.
This meeting is a meeting that is required by the state in order to approve the FF&E, which is our furniture and technology budgets, and then send that up to the state of Connecticut. I'm going to turn it over to Justin Hopkins from Tecton Architects. He's going to do a short overview of the package that is in front of you.
Okay, everybody can hear me here? Good evening. Justin Hopkins. I'm a senior project manager at Tecton Architects. With me this evening is Nicole Tatro. I wanted to introduce her to the BOE and the NGSBC, but she's very familiar to some of the folks in the district. She's really been leading the charge on the FF&E. Just to give you, by way of background, our process here. Prior to school getting out last summer, we scheduled a series of what I would consider pretty intense 1.5 to 2 hour meetings prior to faculty breaking for the summer. The purpose of which was to establish the basis of design for FF&E technology. Once summer break happened, we put our heads down, started assembling quantities, basis of design furniture. We regrouped at the start of the school year. And the results of which are the package that I'll be going over this evening. So first of all, I hope everybody's feet have thawed out from the walk. It's always interesting walking on those fresh concrete floors in the evening. Your feet get pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to, just as a reminder of where we are from a global project summary, we have Barnum Elementary, formerly known as North End Elementary School and Norton Elementary School. Both pre-K to 6, but as we mentioned in the walkthrough at Barnum, the distinction there is we have the early childhood program there. So that accounts for the overall increase comparatively in student enrollment, 790 students at Barnum, 661 students at Norton. So that accounts for our line items in construction costs, total project costs being modestly higher at Barnum than Norton. I'm just going to set this down over here. Just going to go through to recenter everybody's familiarity with the site. We have Barnum site plan up on the screen now. Where we were parking this evening was in this parking lot here. And we approached the building from the west side or the uphill side of the site. What you weren't able to see due to darkness is the amount of playscapes. The playscapes aren't installed, but the infrastructure is out there now to the east of the building or the downhill side of the building. So that's something, as it gets closer, we encourage everybody to walk through the building again because that's really going to be a memorable spot. Just a blow up of the building footprint, and you'll see the playscapes going around towards the eastern portion of the building. Floor plan, I think everybody is well familiar with the floor plan now. Main level, upper level. And for Norton Elementary School, we came in from the Sharon Drive entry and parked around this area here and approached the building through one of the egress stairs or secondary means of egress out of the building. So what you weren't able to do was experience the building from the front door entrance there. But we have Norton, the existing Norton School operational currently. The goal is when school breaks for summer 2026, The new building will be ready to receive FF&E, IT, et cetera. We'll start tearing down the existing building, going through the abatement process first, and then there will be a slight overlap in the fall of developing the parking areas and some of the stormwater detention towards the southern portion of the site. But if it wasn't reiterated at our walkthroughs, both buildings are on schedule, under budget, ready to be occupied summer 2026. So all systems go in terms of moving into the schools at this point. As it's always a good point at this phase of construction is saying we're out of the ground. We've been able to mitigate our risk with digging holes in the site and getting the steel superstructure and the building envelope in place for both schools. So both projects in very good shape. Blow up of the building footprint, as I mentioned, we entered right about this area. The front entrance is to the southern portion of the site. The recreation fields to the southwestern portion and eastern portion of the site yet to be developed. That will come into development when we expand towards the south and start tearing down the existing building. So main level floor plan, upper level floor plan. I wanted to highlight, because this will be a discussion topic, about our overall FF&E and IT budgets for both schools. At Barnum Elementary, our combined budget is $3,520,000. For Norton, it's $2,199,100. One of the things that through bid savings, the NGSBC had allocated some of our bid savings rather than to project contingency, applied it to the FF&E and IT budget. So that is the differentiator between the two amounts. So a little bit about the furniture and fixtures. I thoroughly put the NGSBC to sleep the last time I gave this presentation, so I'll try and be brief as we go through, but if there are any questions along the way, feel free to raise your hand. Yes? Yep.
You were talking about the differentiation, and I really did not grasp what you were saying.
Okay. So there are line items. I'm going to just quickly go back to this slide, which is the total project cost. Total project budget for Barnum Elementary is $89.9 million. Total project budget is $76.6 million. Within that total project cost, you have hard costs, which are the actual construction costs, the bricks and mortar that you walked through earlier this evening, and then soft costs, which consist of FF&E, technology, fees. All of that goes kind of below the line of the hard construction costs, and it helps aggregate what your total project cost is. So, as part of that soft cost, Barnum has a $3.5 million FF&E and IT budget. Norton Elementary School has a $2.2 million FF&E and IT budget. Those two figures were closer together at the start of the project, but we achieved a greater bid savings at Barnum than Norton, and a part of that savings, rather than go entirely to the owner's contingency or the contingency for the project, it was applied to the construction or the FF&E cost. So we were closer into the $2.4 million range for combined FF&E and IT. At the start of the project, we're now at 3.5.
Thank you for that. Also, I was under the impression that the Norton building was going to be more expensive because we have the demolition involved. Is that not the case?
In a cost per square foot analysis, yes, it is more expensive because part of that abatement and demolition goes into your cost per square foot number. But Norton, because we do not have the additional students for the early childhood program, is a smaller building. So that gets translated into the overall project cost. So lower overall total project cost, higher unit cost in a cost per square foot number. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so what I just heard you say before is we basically had these two projects that started off at $80 million each, for lack of a better description. You got savings when you did the RFPs, and then we shifted some of the money from the RFP cost avoidance over to FF&E at Chapman. Is that?
So
I'm just curious of the thought process, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, we could have saved money, and now we're gonna spend the money, which is not necessarily bad. I'm just trying to understand that.
The total project costs remain the same because that's the budget, that's what's bonded. Savings, ultimate savings at the end of the project, it's the decision of the town and the recommendations of the NGSBC, how that contingency is being spent, if it's being returned back to the town, et cetera. But for the purposes of the bid savings that were realized on both projects came in under budget when we bid them. Basically, because that is no longer a hard construction cost or a hard budget cost, that savings gets transferred below the line to an owner's contingency. So healthy owner's contingency, very healthy owner's contingency on both projects currently.
If I could just for 1 second. I don't know if this works. There we go. The building committee is handed a specific budget for each building and has to work within that total dollar figure. Within that, the committee has the ability to shift money from one line item to another. From the very beginning, the North End budget has been healthier than the Norton budget. Norton budget has been a bit tighter, and we've had to make some adjustments as we've gone along to make sure that the Norton budget stayed within the allocation. When the bids came through and we were in an extremely healthy position at the North End, we did transfer within our allocations some additional money into the FF&E budget. The Norton budget is still in good shape, and we're sitting on a healthy contingency for the Norton budget, but we didn't at that time make any adjustments to the FF&E budget. Not that we can't still do that. That's always an option. And the committee on a regular basis is always looking at any changes as it will affect our contingencies on each of the buildings. But as I said, we have a healthy contingency in both schools, both the main contingency and we've come in under budget on the construction bids in both buildings.
So, yeah, because I don't want to be misunderstood on this. The basic idea, what I'm hearing you say is, the money has not been spent in FF&E. You put it into a budget where it could be spent there. And I'm just saying, in general, if we don't need to spend it, I like nice things, I want nice FF&E, but the bottom line to me, I'm thinking is if the money doesn't get spent, it ultimately doesn't probably get authorized, appropriated, spent, so that it does ultimately have some sort of effect on taxes. I'm not saying it's a big number, but
We have to live within the budget that we have. Any money, when the project is completed, any money that is not expended is just that much less that the town has to bond.
exactly.
And as I said, we're sitting on very healthy contingencies right now. Assuming everything stays the way it is, the town will, in the end up bonding substantially less than what they originally anticipated.
Thank you.
Justin, before we go on, can you just clarify the acronyms for those watching at home?
Thank you very much. NGSBC is the Next Generation School Building Committee. That was a joke. FF&E, Furniture, Fixtures, and Equipment, IT, Information Technology. We have a ton of acronyms in my profession. Thank you for reminding me that. Yes. The other thing, since we're talking about project budget, I know the chair had apprised everybody here about the increase in reimbursement for the total projects based on current legislation or recent legislation. that has been enacted by the General Assembly that increases the reimbursement at Barnum Elementary by 15% and a portion of the Norton School by 15%. So that was welcome news for the town. Any other questions before we get into the furniture and fixtures? And again, stop me if if you have any questions along the way. But part of Nicole's work with the folks in the district were to select and basically outfit the schools, starting with some of our pre-K and early intervention classrooms. You'll see on the screen a mixture of tables, some bookshelves, some storage, some soft seating, rugs, and teacher stations. That was all gone through with the district, multiple iterations of review, selection, feedback, a lot of feedback, and ultimately this is where we landed. I will note that all of the colors that you see are not necessarily the final colors. These are basically product images that we're showing. We'll go through a color selection when we get closer to actually ordering the furniture. So just to kind of go through quickly, floor plan is to the right. You'll see kind of the keyed furniture with the images to the left. So outfitting of the early kindergarten or early childhood, kindergarten classrooms, very similar. Mixture of also play or activity units that are in these classrooms as well. Going up in age, our lower elementary classrooms, we get into some more desks, formal desks and seats, as well as storage around the perimeter of each classroom. It is worth noting that all of these classroom desks are designed so that that students can sit at them in a traditional way, facing the teaching station at the front of the classroom, or be grouped together in small group learning or large group learning. Upper elementary, very similar. Going to the media center, obviously we'll have you all walk through the media centers this evening. We'll have bookcases there, some formal seating, some occasional seating, so hard and soft seating at each area. At each location, I think I pointed out, we do to a number of people, my favorite place at Barnum is the small reading room on the upper level of the media center. At Norton, another combination of book storage, tables, chairs, soft seating. Our resource classrooms, we're outfitting with student desks, student chairs, file storage, shelf storage, teacher stations. Cafeteria, we're covering new mixture of sizes and shapes for the cafeteria seating. Also providing individual chairs, stacking chairs to help support if we're having functions such as this. We'll be able to get some of the chairs out and move the cafeteria tables out of the way. Visual arts set up as kind of a flexible space, larger tables there, as well as some rug seating and area seating. Our music spaces, very similar. Instrumental spaces, ensemble spaces. Stage will have portable risers as part of the assembly within the platform at both locations. Our administrative areas utilizing some system furniture for both the kind of open admin space and our office space. So that's furniture and fixtures, equipment and technology. Don't have a lot of, yes, Mr. Grippo.
Thank you. So I noticed there's a very distinctive design choice in all of these things that are going to be in our classrooms. Make sort of reminiscent of a certain store, just my opinion. Is the durability good on this stuff? Or is it like, 3 screws and it's going to start coming apart after a couple of years? Or,
So all of the furniture is durable. It's purpose-built for it. It doesn't show up with an Allen wrench and some concealed fasteners and wood dowels to put together. It's been tested on all of our school projects. I believe we set up some test spaces at central office for the faculty to try out. So all of this stuff is durable. Now, that being said, it is a school. We do have kids that put the furniture through the paces, but this is about as rugged as it gets for school furniture.
Yeah, I'm not aware of our current burn rate on furniture and stuff as it is, but as long as it's similar, I guess, to what we use now, that'll be fine. Yeah, thanks.
I know you mentioned there were plenty of iterations around the pre-K classrooms, and I'm sure, I know the answer to my question, I'm sure you've already addressed it. You've taken into consideration NIAC accreditation?
Yes.
And the specifications for furniture and what square footage and everything in the room?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I see Kim over there nodding her head as well. She held our feet to the fire in a lot of these selections.
What's required?
Yeah, you touched upon my question, but it involves the teacher stations parts of this and how much input we actually got from teachers as to, because some of the teacher space looks really small to me, but maybe that's my imagination.
Was that at the office, this guy here, this slide, or?
Not that one so much. Go to the small, yeah, that one.
We're talking about this?
Yes.
This desk here?
So it looks like that's in the general music room and the instrumental room.
And the classrooms as well.
And that's the
Yep.
classrooms too.
So it's
So
kind of a
I'm wondering, have the
standard.
teachers had input on that
Yes.
aspect of it?
Yes. I don't want to say what, yes, yeah.
Special ed teachers, classroom teachers, music teachers.
Yeah. So our average participation in some of these working group sessions was probably 17, 18 folks from Cheshire on each of the calls. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll say from my own point of view, I sat in on a few of the sessions, and they ran multiple hours, and I can recall a music teacher in particular at one point spending probably close to 45 minutes or so just speaking of the needs of the music department and the furniture that they had. So from my point of view, at least, I think the staff had tremendous input and that Tecton went out of their way to try to accommodate their needs within the package. And I know when I had talked to Mr. Messiano, I said, I want to make sure that the teachers sign off on this and the administrators sign off on it. And he said, yeah, he's making sure that the package that comes to us is something that they have approved of.
But the buck stops here. So I have to ask the question
No,
too.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so just want to go over some of the things that are included in the estimates for purchase. So this is uniform across both schools for as far as maintenance equipment, making sure that we're accommodating floor scrubbers and machines, upright and backpack vacuums, carpet cleaners, an electric pallet jack. You saw some of the high spaces. There's a scissor lift that is scheduled for both buildings. riding lawnmower, a snow removal machine, and a number of what we call direct purchase items, which are things like mops, buckets, trash cans, overall maintenance equipment to go into each school. For technology equipment, interactive displays, 86-inch smartboard. Yes, sorry.
Sorry, before we moved on, just unfortunately from personal experience, the Tiger Cat 2 lawnmower, can it handle the hills over at Barnum? Because I know that can be a dicey situation. It can be kind of steep around here.
Yeah, I will need to report back to you on that. Part of the intention of that hillside is to be a natural, natural
All right.
wild field, if you will. So not necessarily mowed, maybe seasonal mowing rather than weekly mowing.
Gotcha,
So,
thanks.
yeah. Yes, sir.
Isn't the plan also is to expand the solar panels that are currently there now?
So I know that is a topic of discussion with the NGSBC about location of solar panels, whether they're ground-mounted or strictly building-mounted. I will say that that decision has not been finalized yet.
Okay. Tim?
Thank you. So you put up a bunch of equipment there. I'm just wondering, question number one, this is probably for you and for Vin together. Have we had the conversation, and maybe even with the town as well, Sean, are we maintaining all the current processes that we have? As an example, I think of the Tiger Cat 2, no, not Tiger Cat 2, snow removal machine. I don't know what the Mammoth 850 is, but I know, as I understand it, we outsource the plowing of the parking lots, but not necessarily the sidewalks.
Correct.
We do, excuse me, thank you. We do sidewalks, we do all the walkways. We do
Okay,
plow
so-
some of our own snow, but yeah, we contract out the driveways and the parking lots.
So just using that as a proxy for all this different stuff, cutting lawns and stuff like that, are we basically maintaining the status quo? If we do it now, we will do it with the new school?
Correct.
Okay,
That's correct, and that includes, as you know, we contract out our cleaning services.
Yeah.
So we will be going to bid for our entire cleaning service contract, including the 2 new schools. So that will continue, but our maintenance staff does maintenance throughout the school day. That's why they need the equipment that is on this list.
okay, so we have a floor scrubber and machine right now at
Yes.
at our school, okay. And
Yes.
so thank you for that, I appreciate that. And not that this had to be like a big, deep discussion or review on your part, but I'm just curious, were you and Emily, whoever, thinking about it, if any of these things should change, if it would make sense to change anything at this time?
Yeah, we looked at that, and
Okay.
we relied also on Rich Clavette, our Director of Facilities, weighed in heavily and consistently on this. And by the way, this is all reimbursable as part of the overall school construction grant, so that is important to note as well.
Okay, do we have, and I think it's my last question, do we have equipment that we're getting rid of that's still like salvageable, or?
Well, anything that is still usable in the existing buildings
Okay,
will either be redeployed
yeah, okay,
or held in inventory if we need it. Yeah. And that includes all the furniture from the existing buildings. We, certainly have a plan to make sure that, the only thing that gets thrown out are items that are no longer usable, and then the disposition of the items that can be used will either be redeployed or put into storage, but that is something that, will occupy a lot of time over the next, through the spring. Get ready.
thank you then, thanks Justin.
One more follow-up on the mower. Is that something that will be stored at the schools, or is that going to be at the high school? I know the guys usually work out of the garage at the high school. Is that, do we store mowers at the schools now?
We would love to store all this equipment in a beautiful storage shed at the building. And to the extent we can't do that, we do have our maintenance garage at the high school is sort of our central location for equipment.
Okay.
So we would move it back and forth.
Okay.
But there is, in all seriousness, some discussion that will be taken up with the school building committee probably in the spring about a storage building at each of the two schools.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to technology equipment, interactive displays that conform to the district standard, 86-inch smartboard display. Just for purposes of where we are in amounts, there's 71 at Barnum and 70 at Norton. Our telephones and conferencing equipment, wireless access point, both interior and exterior. There's, I believe, about slightly over 100 at Barnum, about 80 at Norton. Our network switches and network server, our mobile tablet Chromebook charging carts, interactive wall for the gymnasium. It's a product called a Loo, which was something that the district was advancing for kind of an interactive activity for kids to be able to do in the gymnasiums. And a number of other direct purchase items, small in nature, cables, UPSs, et cetera. When I say direct purchase, there are 3 procurement methods for this type of work. One is state contract. That's what most of the furniture is selected off of. The state of Connecticut is currently going through a transition from CT Source, the state vendor system, to the MHEC, which is the Massachusetts Higher Education Consortium. That basically, it widens the lens of available state contract purchases. And when I say state contract, it's pre-negotiated unit prices for furniture that are standard and expected when you go to purchase them. The state Office of Grants Administration, or OGA, allows you to select those in that procurement method, provided that they do not exceed $100,000 in aggregate for the one. So most of the furniture is off of a state contract list. There are bid packages that we will be bidding. Most of the technology package, because in aggregate it is over $100,000 per unit, will go out to bid. And then direct purchase is allowable through the state for small wares items, that anything that is under $10,000 can be direct purchased, and you can still receive reimbursement. Yes?
Question on the technology is, so I've done a high school and an elementary school, and somehow they always have the drops, especially in the conference rooms, right in the center, as opposed to, so A, is the plan to have smart boards in the conference rooms or some sort of screen?
Yes.
And then please make sure those drops are not so inconvenient that, you can't even adjust the room. It stays as it is.
So we do have, the conference areas are areas that the infrastructure from the presentation wall, which all of the infrastructure is on, and where you're going to hang your smart board, is fed to below the slab to a central point in the room. So the idea is that the conference room table will be over it in whatever configuration it is, will be over that port. So the inputs will go directly down through the in the center.
Right, but there's no alternate drop. Should the room be reconfigured?
There are drops that are on the wall as well,
Okay.
but we did not sprinkle floor boxes throughout a relatively small conference room. Yeah.
And then some of our cafeterias do have screens. Are we putting screens in?
Yes,
Okay.
those screens are and projection are part of the construction budget.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the moment you probably have all been waiting for is where we are with cost estimates and budget. And the conversation about budget allocations at the start of this conversation is important for the remainder of the conversation. So once again, combined budgets up top for North End, $3,520,000, for Norton, $2,198,600,000. The combined estimates for FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and technology. For Barnum is $2,910,049. That it represents a below budget of $609,951. For Norton, our combined estimate is $2,455,800, which represents a budget overage of $257,200. So there are a couple of options for approval, and I'll describe these. And just to preface this conversation, as I mentioned to the chair, we are in a good spot schedule-wise. We're normally going through this process at the end of December, beginning of January for procurement and installation for the following summer. So schedule-wise, we're ahead of the game. We think it's best practice to get through these approvals, get through the state approvals, so that we can really phase the procurement of these items and be prepared for the lead times for delivery. So I preface the following conversation with that reality that we have a little bit of time to make these decisions. So approval option number one, approve only the north end because we're on budget, the drawings and estimate, and defer Norton until scope can align with budget. It is worth noting that the estimates that you're looking at right now represent parity between both schools. So the same furniture, the same technology, the same maintenance equipment that's at Barnum is at Norton. Okay, we would have a little bit of work to do on the Norton budget if we were to align that scope with the budget. Option number two, approve both North End and Norton drawings and estimates, assuming there will be some buyout savings on bid items and state contract vendor pencil sharpening. I mentioned this transition between CT Source and the Massachusetts Higher Education Consortium. Part of that transition, it was originally supposed to be in place for August of this year. It's not in place yet. So it's been very challenging to get unit prices from the vendors because they don't know which one they're providing the unit prices for. So we haven't been able to go back to the vendors and say, okay, you're buying 1,000 of these student chairs. What's your best number? Can you do better than the state contract number? There's always some economy when we go for procurement there. We just haven't been able to nail that down. So under this scenario, the NGSBC would reconcile the final budget allocations from project contingency on Norton when final numbers are in hand. Option number three, approve both North End and Norton drawings and estimates with a contingency reallocation to the Norton FF&E and technology budget, similar to what was done on Barnum, to make up the estimated shortfall. So that's really kind of I think the ask tonight, that decision really is in the NGSBC's court regarding budget allocations. So I think, yeah.
Before either the building committee or the Board of Ed can act, I think the building committee must make a decision on these three options and how they want to proceed. So let me turn it over to the committee if you have suggestions or opinions as to which way you would like to go on the three options that were laid out.
Rich, what's the difference really, or Justin, or somebody, what's the difference between 2 and 3? It sounds like 3, we just approve it now and it's there. And 2, I mean, we would still, I would think, want to sharpen our pencils and get savings and whatever. It's not like it's there to spend it, so.
We do that as a matter of course in our conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we were talking about earlier is if the committee was uncomfortable sending this up to the state, knowing that the preliminary estimates were $200,000 over, then we could immediately make a transfer from our contingency budget into the Norton FF&E budget. But as I spoke to Justin both yesterday and today, we don't need to do that. These are preliminary estimates. We would go out to bid. We would see at that time. If it came in at that $200,000 level, we could make the adjustment at that time. But we may also find that we go out to bid and the bids come in and we don't need that additional money. So it's really up to the committee as to which way you want to go, and then we can act and the Board of Ed can act on it.
Rich, I think option 3 allocates the money so that from contingency, I mean, contingency is for unforeseen, so we don't know if at the time, if that contingency will be there, if we don't allocate it now. Is that an understanding? Is that correct?
We have a very healthy contingency at this point.
That's not,
So-
but you, again, contingency is for what you don't know.
Yeah.
So it could be healthy now, but that doesn't mean it's going to be there. So-
If you move money from our contingency into that budget, then that means that you have allocated that money, and you know then that based on the estimates, we will have enough to pay for this, yes.
Right, and so when we're looking at other possible reasons to spend the contingency, we will have this already allocated so that we don't have a false sense of having an extra $250,000.
You could do that, sure.
That's what option 3 does, right?
That's what option 3 does, yes.
Okay. Either way, this seems like it's something that's necessary. It's gone through all of the people that know what they need. It's not like we're being, there's no real opulence in here. This is the committees that have looked at it, all of the users. So this is necessary. So in my mind, it's like, why don't we allocate the money now instead of running the risk of having some other decisions made with contingency that is, that suddenly might be needed for the FF&E. That's just my 2 cents.
Any other comments? Dennis? Sarah?
Hi. Oh, gosh, sorry. So I think for me, number 1 is just completely off the table, because then I think we start to talk about, we lose parity, right? And that's just unacceptable to me as a parent, as a member of the Cheshire community. So then we've got 2 and 3. I understand what you're saying, Chris. I think it is really important that we understand how much we have, especially when some of us want things like storage sheds and things like that at the end. So, but I think we're going to see a lot of change in the number, and I hate to move things from contingency, put it into the line, and then we have too much in there, and then we have to move it back to contingency. And I'd rather get the real numbers first before we actually make the full move and really understand what we're moving. But we know we're going to have to move it. I agree with you.
Agree with your point. I think if we look at the Barnum, where the money is there, I believe that when it goes out to bid and we get the numbers in, let's just pick a fictitious number. Let's say it comes in at 100,000 under, that 100,000 goes back to contingency. But we also, well, it's a vote. We're not actually carrying, bricks. It's just a vote and we move it. I'm just more concerned about the fact that, like you mentioned, there's some other things that might come up, and we might say, well, we've got contingency. Why don't we add this nice thing, or we do this thing because we have it, and then we need the money for the FF&E, which is not a nice to have, it's a need, and all of a sudden we're like strapped on the contingency, whereas if we allocate it here, then when we vote on or consider other things, whether it's an unforeseen, whether it's a change that's the Board of Ed or somebody else deems necessary or nice to have, we're having that discussion looking at a budget that's available rather than a budget that might be fictitiously elevated because we know we're going to need that. That's just my, again, one person's thought.
Yeah, actually, I have a question for Arcadis people.
Yes.
In addition to the contingency that we have for Norton, we also have some bid savings, correct?
We do, yeah.
In excess of $250,000?
Yes, we do. For Norton, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Rich Sitnick. I'm with Arcadis, the owner's rep. So regarding available contingencies, on Norton, there was a bid savings of $836,000. We put that aside. That's in addition to the owner's contingency, which is $4,036,000.
I'd like to make a motion to allocate $257,200 from bid savings towards the FF&E and technology package for Norton School.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, now we can move. Greg, I would ask that,
Okay.
let me-
Thank you, Rich. First motion, I move that the Next Generation School Building Committee approves the construction documents consisting of the final drawing set, specifications, and project manuals for the Norton Elementary School, state project number 025-0102N, Phase 3 fixtures, furnishing equipment, FF&E, close paren, and Phase 4 data/technology equipment as presented and dated October 31, and the professional cost estimates dated October 31.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Chuck?
November 31, I think is October? October.
No, it's dated October 31.
Got it. Okay. That's what they were asking.
I'm sorry. The estimates, because we had been getting vendor pricing in, the estimates are dated for today. So we just
So we'll
wanted,
change October 31 to November 6th.
for the professional cost estimates, yes.
Okay, so technology equipment as presented and dated October 31, professional cost estimates as dated November 6th.
All right.
Second.
Chuck already seconded it, if that's okay with that change. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's unanimous. And now it's the Board of Ed's turn.
Move that the Cheshire Board of Education approves the FF&E documents consisting of the final drawing set, specifications, and project manuals for the Norton Elementary School, state project number 025-0102N, Phase 3 fixtures, furnishings, equipment, and Phase 4 data technology equipment as presented and dated October 31st.
Yes.
And the professional costs estimated dated November 6th. Is there a second? Ms. Cullinan, thank you. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion that's on the floor? Tony, no? One? Yeah, unanimous. I don't know if you need more time. It's unanimous, thank you. Back to NGBS and GSBC.
Okay, and then we have an additional motion that actually sends this up to the state. Greg?
I move that the FF&E documents, as approved this evening by the Building Committee and the Board of Education for the Norton Elementary School, state project number 025-0103. Right now it's 03, is that 3 or should that be a 2?
Should be the same.
Yeah, it should be a 2 there, right?
102, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, state project number 025-0102N, Phase 3 fixtures, furnishings, equipment, FF&E, close paren, and Phase 4 data technology equipment be submitted to the State of Connecticut, DAS/OGA, Department of Administrative Services / Office of Government Accountability for its written approval.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Chuck, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's unanimous. Now, because we have two totally separate projects, we always have to do everything in duplicate. So now we have a motion for the North End School.
I move that the Next Generation School Building Committee approve the construction documents consisting of the final drawing set, specifications, and project manuals for the North End Elementary School, state project number 025-0103N, Phase 3 fixtures, furnishings, and equipment, FF&E, close paren, and Phase 4 data technology equipment as presented and dated October 31, and the professional cost estimates dated November 6th.
have a second? Chuck, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous.
Move. Oh.
Oh,
Did you count him too? Okay.
you forgot, you have two different hats, you're supposed to change them as you.
I'm wearing your hat today.
I move that the Cheshire Board of Education approve the FF&E documents consisting of the final drawing set, specifications, and project manuals for the North End Elementary School, state project number 025-0103N, Phase 3 fixtures, furnishings, equipment, FF&E, and Phase 4 data technology equipment as presented and dated October 31st, and the professional cost estimates dated November 6th. Is there a second? Mr. Gripple, discussion? Dr. Harrigan?
I have a quick question. Why are we calling it North End School and not Barnum now that we've named it?
It's the project name?
That is what went to the state when it was originally created, and even though the town has renamed it, as we are sending documents to the state, we have to consistently use what we have originally put into the state. In our own minutes and things, we always use Barnum.
Thank you.
Thanks. Tim?
Yeah, so this is a general question about FF&E as well as the overall project, probably for you, Justin. Have we been, as far as you know, have we been affected by tariffs? And I know that you're under budget right now, but that doesn't mean that we haven't paid more money in relation to tariffs. Just if you happen to know, if you don't, that's fine.
We have had one claim so far regarding tariffs. We have not approved that. I don't know if there are other claims out there. They may need to work their way through the O&G process. Our attorney has been involved with that procedure in that we want to make sure that we very clearly and consistently analyze any tariff claims that might come before us.
And I just want to add a little bit, because of what I've seen in the past year, like at certain moments in time, bills were just coming down the line, sort of out of the blue to people, but then the way I would normally think of tariffs is that we would never even see them as a line item in our bills. It'd get, if we're buying steel from China, then we're buying it from a local distributor here, and we paid them $100. They're the ones who see the $30 tariff, moving it from like 70 to 100. So I'm just curious, more, what you're saying, I think, is a little bit more of what I'm thinking about what's happened in the past year. I'm just thinking more broadly, like, are we buying American-made raw materials? Is stuff coming from overseas? And this is really intended to be a general question. I'm not looking for real details here.
We went out to bid on most of the projects November of last year.
Okay.
All of the subs bid at that time. What happened was, that was right around the time of the election.
Yep.
Come January, February, suddenly there were tariffs that were added in. There's an expectation that our subs would look for locally sourced sources and not to be paying tariffs whenever possible. In some cases, they may have already put in orders, stuff was moving in, and it was something that wasn't originally anticipated, and that's something that the committee has looked at, and as I said, has brought our attorney into that process. If there's a claim made by one of the subs that this was an unexpected expense that was not foreseeable when they bid on the project.
In terms of the FF&E and technology, these are not commodities like steel or pipe or anything like that. So the unit prices that we're incorporating are direct from vendors and represent current prices. So it's a little bit muddier to ascertain what percentage of those are maybe tariff related on the materials that are put together for the product, but we do know that we're using current prices. So.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion that is on the floor? Unanimous. Thank you.
And our last motion?
I move that the FF&E documents, as approved this evening by the Building Committee and Board of Education for the North End Elementary School, State Project Number 025-0103N, Phase 3 fixtures, furnishing equipment, paren FF&E, close paren, and Phase 4 data technology equipment be submitted to the State of Connecticut, DAS/OGA, Department of Administrative Services, Office of Government Accountability, for its written approval.
Do I have a second? Chuck, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Well, thank you very much. It's unanimous. So I know the Board of Ed has a meeting coming up. I didn't know if you had any last questions or comments for us. Carol, Ariane?
I just want to express my deep gratitude for all that you have been doing for all these years, not just months, but years. And it's very evident that you know exactly what's going on, that you're keeping track of things and doing what's best for the town of Cheshire and what's best for our schools. And so I thank you, all of you. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
We appreciate it. From one group of volunteers to another. All right. With that in mind, yes.
Sorry, Rich. So likewise, what Ann said, I had the privilege of helping select this committee with Sam Rosenberg, Tim White, Don Walsh, I think it was 3 years ago, when you all were crazy enough to volunteer, and I knew back then, talking to all of you.
I had a full head of hair when we started.
So did I, when I started the Board of Ed. No, and so I can't thank you enough. I've been on this board 16 years. This is my last night for now. So I know what you've gone through, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm sure as the public hears more and more what you're doing, because as far as I'm concerned, you're doing a lot of great work quietly. Well, that's a lot of work. But when the public sees these schools and their kids start going through them, you're going to feel totally elated, and we're all going to thank you. So thank you. Keep up the great work. You're doing outstanding.
Thank you. And you had an opportunity to see some of the work today. It's coming along beautifully, and we're excited to be looking ahead to September of next year, when all the children start coming in and turning the buildings alive. With that comment, do we have a motion to adjourn by the committee?
So moved.
So moved. Second? Second. Dennis, all those in favor? And it's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.